connect with similar people, to understand, I guess, what are some of the challenges organizations are facing in this space. There's a lot of pain in organizations out there, and I'm really here to connect with those people and see, what are they doing personally, and to drive that change, within their teams, and that's probably the big thing for me.
Well, look, mainly just to connect with the community, just to continue to learn about different perspectives in this area of leadership, and just to be here and present and enjoy.
Well, there are lots of things, Lockie, that I found really interesting, particularly that start with David White and the stand still was great. But what I'm actually a bit excited about is the whole thing about this electromagnetic field around your heart and how we can get connected with one another through that. So when Jonathan was speaking, I was remembering as he was talking, that this sense of different people that I get with, and literally before they've said or done anything, just different feeling I have of being around them. And so sort of putting those two ideas together, standing still long enough to let yourself get conscious of it.
Well, I think you can never know, and to use Andrew's phrase, you can never know what magic might happen when you come together with a group of people who are interested in what you're interested in. And so putting yourself in a place where something can emerge, something can arise that you didn't actually expect, but it was the gift you came to get. So I don't know what to expect other than some wonderful connections, an opportunity reflection, an opportunity for conversation, and I'm sure there'll be more than a handful of serendipities to come from the day.
Learning more and more and more, and also meeting people of like mind and becoming a part of the broader community.
The biggest question was something that was asked in a break by my friend Rollo Brown, was about being, and how can we teach people to be, and that we can't. And this conference was so much about that, right from that first image of David White and the being in the forest and just standing still. That's a real challenge for me because I'm rushing around everywhere. And I think there's a lot there in that about understanding your body, taking the time to stop, being reflective, and being willing, as my role as a developer of leaders, to stop them or slow them down, to get them to ask those questions about where they are in the present and be reflective so that they can then make choices rather than the rush to task or doing those things.
I work in this area, so I work around consciousness and leadership, and I think for me what I took out of it was, how do I translate what I deeply believe and what they were speaking about into a corporate sense? So there's something there. There is a piece between the language that's very personal and the language that becomes organisational. So that's the big piece that I took out. Framing.
It's always a reminder for us to slow down and take pause. I think business can be so fast and hectic. So this for us is another chance, another reminder to slow things down and remember that we will achieve the things that we achieve as a business together as a team, as a greater team, and we as the leaders need to be able to create that environment. So I think that's something that always reminds us. Some healthy hints in amongst the conference and speaks today to help us do that. So yeah.
For me, it will be, I took a lot out of being the hero and not having to have all of the answers for everyone in the organisation, being part of the collaborative process rather than having to have the ideas.
I think it really starts with that heart presence. So being, allowing the space to be vulnerable as a leader, I think was a key takeaway. So I think a lot of the times we're afraid of that, and that may be perceived as a weakness, but it actually can be a strength. So that's a big part of it. The other part would be the unity aspect. So, when things really get tough and busy, we often think that we've got to solve the problem alone, and it's, harnessing and leveraging off the strengths of others.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm presenting to a client myself in the next month on aspects of change, and while I'm here, I'm expecting to hear something that's going to connect, enrich the models and the experience that I teach and the life experience I've had, that will enable me to shape a more compelling message for my own compliance and help me shape and integrate my own life into it. So in the first instance, I've got work to do, and this is going to help me do that work. But the second is, I come to this conference to be nourished. There's not that many that you can come to be nourished in, and this is one I come to be nourished in. I work a lot with groups, and I do a great deal of group work and coaching work. Here, I can be nourished by people who are really giving of themselves, and I'm deeply appreciative of anyone who stands up the front. And that's a really vulnerable, powerful thing to do, and here they're doing it with their whole heart.